And so there you have it. There you have it. We alive, we alive, we alive. And I just want to start by saying a huge thank you to our listening audience. I am Anne Anidumaka, and I want to welcome one of our speakers for the upcoming Entrepreneurs Living the Dream Speakers Conference 2025. Rahul Maharaj. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence this lovely, lovely day.
Woo! I'm excited. Wow, wow, wow. I just want to say a quick thank you and a shout out to you, yourself, and to Dr. Patricia Rogers and Unity and Service Inc. for doing this amazing conference because we couldn't have been here, we couldn't have been anywhere without having that conference and all these amazing things that Dr. Pat has been doing. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight in. So I'd like to start by asking you why you chose to say yes to be a part of Entrepreneurs Living the Dream, especially when so many people would have shied away from doing this, but you stepped up to the plate and you said yes.
Well, why did I say yes? Oh my God, that's always a question that I get every time I have something with Dr. Pat. And one of the most amazing things and the reason I would say yes all the time to her is it's her. Her energy just coming at you with that question. Ra, I'm doing this. Would you do it? And yes, I would say yes, not only because of her energy, because I know my mission and I know what it is like to be alone, and I want others to understand they are not alone. Because what I share and what I bring is for others to hear the story of others. It's not about a spotlight, but the spotlight I am actually giving to others with inside of them, where they can
Mhm.
understand again, quote unquote, you are not alone. And hence the reason, that is the reason deep down inside I always say yes to any sort of speaking gig, because I will be able to relate a story of resilience and truth so someone else out there within millions can hear and understand, hey, if Ra can do it, I can do it too, and I am not alone.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Raul. Because it's something that we do here at Unity in Service, is where we bridge the gap that may exist physically, but yet virtually this particular distance does not exist. We have people in UK, Kenya, Cameroon, Uganda, as far back as Australia, Russia, just all over the world, but we are united together under one. And it shows how far your connections reach. A person may not know you directly, but can know someone who knows you. This brings me to our next question. So, in 2 minutes or less, I would like you to tell our audience how you serve humanity. I know you mentioned a little bit about it, but I would like you to expound on it in 2 minutes.
All right. Well, how I serve humanity, it all comes down to who I am and where I came from and the journey. Like right now, we are all together, and as you would see, the book on the side, right? And in that book, Elevate Your Visibility, I spoke about the longest rope has an end. And this is what I do by serving humanity. I mean, I give the voice to the voiceless because many people out there still have their story built up inside. They do everything they do. They walk the walk of success. They go about living their lives, but nobody knows their stories. Like right now in society, I was just speaking to my mom. We're speaking about the raptor and all these things. But if you understand that your thing on this earth, the same way you could read the Bible about the rapture, you could understand that God in the Bible said, love thy neighbor or love the people in your lives. Be kind, be nice. And this is my story, and this is what I do. This is the root of my work, to share that empathy by sharing stories so others can understand, and the action that we do, that when I meet you, and that hug, that energy that we will share, it
It
is something
resonates.
that is memorable. That
Yeah,
is what I'm talking about. That is the type of work I do. And if you don't know how to share kindness, which is free, then something is wrong. Then you shouldn't be
something
worried
is
about the
there.
rapture. You should be worried
Yeah.
about yourself.
That's spot on. And I know you mentioned how important it is for you to show people that you're there, that you don't want them to work this path alone, that there are people that care about them, there's someone that cares about them, and you want it to feel like a big hug to them. So, with that being said, I would like you to, help us understand in the amount of the amount of years you spent on earth doing the thing that you do with so much passion. What has been your biggest win?
Wow, I love that is a very beautiful question. So, you know, we have been speaking so far, and I don't think your audience knows exactly who I am. So I'm Rahul K. Maharaj, known as Mr. Trauma Talks just recently. I'm an international motivational speaker, a mental health advocate, I'm an entrepreneur, as we all know, an author, and a singer. I just sang on New York Fashion Week, which was a dream that I never thought would have happened. I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, and I had a journey. And let me tell you my journey of abuse and a lot of different things. And for the past 25 years, I live in this place called New York City, which I call my home. And this place has taught me so much to elevate that for the past 7 years, I could have gotten this idea from the Holy Spirit to come out here to share these stories. And one of my greatest things, and I heard it from someone else's mouth who is out there big. It's actually written in the Wall Street Times. And one of the biggest things is the person says, do you know you are hosting a mental health conference on Broadway in Times Square in a theater? There's nobody that has done that so far. So we brought trauma in theaters on Broadway rather than the drama that normally happens. And that is one of my biggest wins and accomplishments that I have.
Oh, you don't need to tell me twice. That sounds like such an accomplishment to be the first of such. I cannot imagine how that particular moment must have felt like for you, especially when you mentioned it's not something that you originally would have thought you would be doing, but you found yourself doing it and you owned it. That's something I've always looked at you afar doing, and I'm like, oh, Raul does such a wonderful job with doing that. So kudos to you, and thank you for sharing that with us. So that
Thank
leaves us with
you.
our final question, which is, do you have an offer or contact information for our listeners? Feel free to share with us, and it's also going to be put in the description of this video.
Well, one of the greatest things, and if everyone can find me as Mr. Trauma Talks, MrTrauma Talks, TALKS, straight up on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, anywhere like that. And, I really don't have offers. What we offer you for free is if you're in New York City, we give you a spotlight on our podcast called Your Trauma Talks, which basically is like our own TED Talk, where we give you that spotlight to share your story 15 to 20 minutes, and then we have a sit down interview with you in person, and it's completely free. BTS, photos, videos, every single thing is on us. All we ask of you is to share your story, and you can contact us at ylewrah@gmail.com, or follow me on www.mrtraumatalks.com as well.
Thank you so, so much for sharing that with us and to our listeners, our viewers. You are going to find it underneath the description video here. So, with that being said, I know I have said so much between me and
You're muted, Anne, and you got muted. Okay.
times like this happen, but we keep it moving. But I'm just going to extend this lovely, lovely invite to anybody who is yet to get a ticket. I know I've been saying it since the very first video, but this is your call to action. As you continue to listen to the amazing stories that our speakers have to share on this podcast,